This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, yes, it's the Ramble, and I'm Alex. We go until midnight tonight. From New York, New York, the city so nice they named it twice. Hi, how are you? Welcome back to our program that nobody listens to, so we don't really care what we say or how we say it, okay? And there's so many shows out there on the internet. We thank you for choosing ours, all three of you. Yeah, so, too many people doing podcasts now. It's cheapened the idea of what radio is and what broadcasting is. And it's not even broadcasting. It's what we used to call in the business narrowcasting. Broadcasting was radio where the signal went everywhere and it was broad, right? So anyway, hi, I'm wearing my commie hat tonight. So because we're gonna invite Phil in here in a second. Let me see if I can admit him to our little gathering and see how he is. Okay, let me see here. He's way off to the side there. Okay, now we'll bring him in. And hello to Phil. Hello, Phil Meyer. How are you?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
My eyes have been burning for 2 days straight. There is something in the air. I don't know. It's in this apartment or whatever. And it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant.
Yeah. Do you think that
But don't ever ask me how I am, because I'll always start giving you a big litany of my ailments, okay?
Well,
so.
It may be that there are dead bodies in the walls that are beginning to decompose.
Who knows? Who knows? You know Marjorie found today. Marjorie said to me, "Are you up?" I said, "Yeah, I'm up."
Yeah.
The first thing in the morning, it's always something like, "Oh, there's something wrong with my computer. I can't fix it right now. Can you fix it for me?" And I'm going, I just woke up, okay? So this morning it was, "Alex, would you do me a favor?" I said, "Yeah." She's in the living room. Would you bring in a piece of paper towel? So I rip off a piece of paper towel and I go in there. I said, "What do you want to do with this?" And she says, "Look." And on the floor, dead, is just a giant cockroach. Like that.
They can get up that high?
Huh?
8 floors?
They can get in anywhere. I'll tell you what I think happened. Haven't seen. I think I've seen maybe in the whole 10 years we've been here, 11 years we've been here, maybe 5 roaches.
I bet you your neighbors sprayed.
No, I know it's happening. They're doing all this work on the building. And it just dislodges him. But I mean, he was lying there dead, And so I had to pick the thing up. I don't know why she thinks I was any more able to pick that thing up than she would be, but she goes, "It gives me the willies." I said, "Well, what do you think it gives me?"
Well, at the store, we get some cockroaches, and I have the warehouseman spray this stuff. It's a powder, and about every 3 months he sprays, and then in the next morning there is a cockroach holocaust on the floor. There's 20.
You want me to tell you about a holocaust for roaches?
Yeah.
So I lived in this apartment that was just roach-ridden. I did everything I could to get rid of them. This was years ago when, they lived between the floors. And when somebody moved out downstairs, they all came up to pay a visit to you, okay?
Of course, yeah.
So in the kitchen, I found that they had a tendency, if I had an open box of cereal, to go into the open box of cereal.
They'll get in even if it's Tupperware. I don't know how they get in.
So what I did, was I took this package of cereal that had been opened up there for about 3 months, and I put it on the counter, right? And then I found this spray. It was called La Bamba.
Yeah.
And it had pyrethrin in it, which really
that's it.
It
That's what I
kills
spray.
it kills roaches, but it doesn't
Right.
kill you. Okay,
Right.
it's completely safe to humans.
Doesn't even harm animals.
No,
Yeah.
but it's deadly to them. I don't know. I was the best. It was called La Bamba because it was made in Puerto Rico, and I figure if anybody knows about roaches, it's the Puerto Ricans. Okay,
Absolutely.
so I took the spray, and I opened up the box and I sprayed into it as much of this La Bamba as I possibly could, and then I moved away, and all of a sudden, this box of cereal started bouncing on the counter, right? And all of a sudden, these cockroaches come swarming out. I mean, maybe 100 of them out of this box of cereal, and then they're all lying on top of the counter, spinning around on their backs.
Yeah.
And with little X's on their eyes. They were little cartoon roaches.
Yeah.
But it was like it just bounced up and down. It moved. It had a life of its own.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any when we spray that pyrethrin stuff.
Yeah.
We spray it at the perimeter walls, and the next morning they're vacuuming up cockroaches.
Yeah. Well, we have a guy that comes in about every 3 months. There's a knock on the door, ring on the doorbell rings, and exterminator. And I said, okay, come in. And usually we haven't seen, as I say, we've seen maybe 5 roaches, maybe not even that in 10 years.
Well, that's pretty good because New York City, they have other infestations. I think is it either mice or rats or something.
Well, we have had a few mice.
Yeah.
We found a way of getting rid of them, and that's peppermint spray.
Wow.
There's a peppermint spray, and you use a peppermint spray. They hate peppermint, so I put out peppermint patties all over the place.
Yeah.
No, but they hate peppermint.
I'd end up eating them.
They hate the smell of peppermint, and then we didn't see any rats. I told you, remember the squirrel? Don't you? The squirrel story.
No,
When we first moved in.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden, on the side of my eye, I think I see something darting, but I don't know what it is, and I figure it's nothing. It's, sometimes in your own head you see stuff, So I go in, I'm in the kitchen, I've decided to make myself a little food, and I'm sitting at the counter, and I'm starting to eat, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see something, what seems to be another presence in the apartment. And I look over into the dining room, and it's a squirrel.
Was the window open?
The window was open.
They can come up the rain gutters.
Well, who knows where he came from? Okay, yeah. But I'm sure he came through the window. He didn't suddenly get a key to the apartment and come through the front door. Yeah. So I go, wow, So I run over to him, and he runs towards the window. But he's not running out the window. And I'm standing there going, go out the window, go out the window. And he's looking at me he's looking at me like this, And finally, I just yelled and screamed at the top of my lungs, and he darted out the window. Well, now, cut to a day later.
Yeah.
I'm watching the 6 o'clock news on Channel 4. And they say, an odd and unusual story down in Harlem today. The CVS at 116th and Malcolm X Boulevard was visited today by a squirrel who got loose in the place and was running around and everything. And I thought to myself, well, he moved down the street. It's probably the same squirrel. Because this squirrel,
you heard about the sale at CVS.
Right. He was there to get a vaccination. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
I like your stories of cockroaches and squirrels.
Yeah.
I was riding up the elevator.
Yes, I should have titled this episode "Cockroaches and Squirrels."
I always wondered why you didn't have any clickbait on your shows. Something that would get people to click on it rather than just say,
I don't care to do it because I don't like the term clickbait. Okay? I
All
don't
right.
care. I just don't care. I don't care if one person listens to this thing, just as long as I get through the hour and a half without dying.
Well, you know, I was watching something this morning that was saying that you should do less social media because the likes that you get or the views are actually producing dopamine, and and the person that is posting is getting this dopamine rush by people either liking or friending or whatever it is that they do, and you know it's not productive. It's just a waste of people's time.
I don't get a rush at all.
No,
I don't get a
yeah.
rush at all.
But you look for those things, and if you
Well,
get
I look to see how we're doing, you know. I mean, I used to do a morning show that played to 20,000 people per quarter.
I remember, I was there.
Per quarter hour. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
I
sometimes
was there.
30,000, but average about 20,
you
25,000.
had a 6 share at Camel.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I was used to having a large audience, and now to look at it, and I've had 200 people listen yesterday, you know, fuck you. You know, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? I know, I always say that, and I'm
it's a
still
different-
here. What?
Yeah, it's a different medium. Hey,
Oh,
you
wait
know,
a minute. Wait a minute. So guess what we got this week?
what did you get?
I finally have decided to go the whole full Monty on this deal, and I signed up and got Hulu TV Plus, where you get it's like having a a cable system. It's like you have with Sling or who do you use?
I've got YouTube TV.
YouTube TV, which they say is very good.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm very happy.
Well,
with it.
I liked Hulu because on top of it's $5 more, but I get the Disney bundle as part of the deal.
Yeah.
All for $75, and then I'm paying another $9.95 so I can have it on as many sets as I want at one time.
I see.
Because Marjorie wants to watch in the living room, and then she wants to watch in the kitchen, and then she wants to watch in the office. And, if we have to turn off one to get another to work, that would get annoying, and I don't want that.
I actually stopped watching in the bedroom about 5 years ago. There's a TV there, but I hadn't turned it on in 5 years.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how do you jerk off to porn?
I have a cell phone.
No, but anyway, so I got this, and I really like it. I mean, it's I mean, it's a tad more clumsy than using a cable box, but it's
Right.
pretty good. But
Once you set up your favorites,
yeah.
I think once you set up your favorites, you'll be fine.
Well, what happens is the only problem is Hulu has put this into their site, so that if you subscribe to this, now a lot of the live shows not only show up in the live section where you can go through everything, but also there's like a list of live programs, live news programs, live this, live that, that you just click on it just on the splash page of Hulu. But the other problem is that it also carries things like it's running the 80s and the history of something else. And these were produced by CNN. They're not part of Hulu, but they are part of their live service. So as a result, they post these things on Hulu, and those you have to watch with commercials.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you have the Hulu without
commercials. Now, the Hulu stuff, there are no commercials, but they don't tell you. They should put a little C at the bottom of each icon when there are commercials in it, so that we know that we don't want to go click there because we don't want to watch commercials.
Well, I have the YouTube without commercials, not YouTube TV, but just regular YouTube.
Yeah.
Which I like because I used to have to press skip all the time. Now people are getting sponsors, and they're spending a minute and a half in their presentation. Pitching their sponsors, whether it's gold.
Well, I pay that $11 a month to get YouTube Premium, so I don't have to watch the damn commercials before everything.
Right, but now the presenters are creating commercials.
Well, they're putting them in the shows. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And but at least you can stream.
I'm addicted to YouTube. I just start watching it, and then next thing I know, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. You know.
Yeah. Well, I get up. I get up early. I get up at 4 for my so I can be ready for my exercise class at 5:45, and I watch a few minutes of the news, make some coffee, and YouTube.
Every morning I get up at 5 o'clock to go to my exercise class, and then I decide fuck it, and I go back to sleep. So that's it.
Now, does Marjorie still get up at 5?
No. No.
She used to for
No,
work. Right?
I looked over the other day. It was almost 9 o'clock. And she was still asleep, and I went. When I see that, I feel I have to poke her a little bit to see if she's still alive. You know, to feel her, to see if
Well, you
there's
just
a
put
pulse.
a mirror. Put a mirror. See if she can fog a mirror.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing I wanted to ask you about. You said that she was getting those fruits and vegetables in a pill.
Yes, she gives me one every morning.
Do they work? Are they any good?
Do I look healthy to you?
Well, for your age, yeah.
Oh. I don't find it does anything.
No.
Yeah, I don't find any appreciable difference in.
There are different colors. There's like 3 capsules of different colors, and
No. In this
one that they
case,
advertise.
she doesn't go with those. She goes with another brand that's cheaper and better, supposedly.
Okay.
And so I do it. Yeah. Makes her feel
now,
good.
I was riding up in the elevator this afternoon on my way home from work, and one of the other tenants who just got back from Israel says, "Did you hear Bibi Netanyahu won? Did he win the election?"
Yeah, well, they're just as
I didn't
crazy
see
as
it
we
on
are. I
the
mean, the
news.
guy's a crook. Yeah.
Well, he's gonna, what is he, a crook because he took some cigars? I think
he supposedly it's a lot more than that. Here's a guy who I think at one point was pretty good. He at least he spoke English well because we grew up in Brooklyn. But he was okay. But then he got full of himself, and after a while, you start feeling a sense of entitlement. And that's what
politicians.
Yeah,
most politicians feel that. It's funny. The power corrupts, and absolute power.
You want to know
corrupts
what?
absolutely,
You want to know what really is galling me though lately?
What's that?
All these people who are trying to spin the Nancy Pelosi husband beating.
Oh yeah. Well, there's right and left spins.
Yeah,
on
but
that.
but no, there's no right spin. There's
No. Right wing and left wing spin.
No, but there is no right wing, left wing spin because we're only saying what happened. The guy got beaten up with a hammer, for crying out loud. But what they're doing is, like over at Fox, they were saying, well, I think it was Hannity said, oh, well, it wasn't a break-in because the windows were broken like they were
inside.
They were inside out, and it's not true. The police said it was broken into. They even have video of the guy breaking the window from the outside.
But I don't,
But I mean, wait a minute. Here's
Yeah.
somebody gets unmercifully beaten. Okay,
Yeah.
so much
His
so.
soul got split.
Yeah, he had to go into surgery, and they were worried about his life for a while there, but he made it, and he's okay, and that's wonderful. But nevertheless, I mean, come on, you don't spin any of this.
It's a terrible thing, and even during the Trump times, you had what was her name, Waters, or what was that?
Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters
Yeah.
said that you should people in the Trump government, for instance, you shouldn't give them any quarter. If they're out at dinner, you should harass.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think.
Different.
Well, I'm the person that booed Henry Kissinger at a Broadway play when they introduced him and people were applauding him. I booed, and I got tackled. By the way, I got tackled. But I felt my feeling was that he shouldn't go anywhere without knowing that there are people who were not happy with his Vietnam.
There's a time and a place to boo him. And I don't know.
I don't think there's a time and a place to kill people, but he didn't do that. He just went over to Vietnam and killed them anywhere, anytime. You know,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is these people should not feel that they can just go out in the general public and not have to deal with the feelings that are
then
opposed to theirs.
what kind of leaders are we going to be able to elect that have to be exposed to this kind of harassment?
No, you just don't go into public places where this is going to happen. And I'm saying this because you're running for public office, you're a public servant, you've decided to run for public office and all that entails. And part of that should be that the downside is you can't go out in general public.
And don't you want a person that can mix with the public, listen to what the public has to say?
Do you think that an asshole like Ted Cruz flies coach?
Probably.
No. Come on.
Well, talking about a couple of other things. The Supreme Court, what do you think of that affirmative action suit that Harvard is involved with? I guess their SAT scores can be 1,100 if you're black. It's got to be 1,300 if you're white, and if you're Chinese, you can't get in. How do you think the Supreme Court's going to work with that?
I'm going to say that they're going to go with a right-wing agenda. They're going to go with the let's do away with the affirmative action. I think they're going to do that. However, I don't think, in my opinion, that that's a very wise idea. I mean, I understand. I think there should be a revision of affirmative action. I think for a while it was a good thing because we had to make up for lost time. Okay, would you agree with that?
Yeah,
we had to make up for lost time. We've had affirmative action for how many years now? 20, 25 years. Huh? 50?
Wasn't it 68?
I don't know when it first started, but now I think you should still have affirmative action, or maybe you won't even call it affirmative action, but equal action, where people have an equal opportunity to get in, but you're not going overboard to get them in. Before you had to because there weren't enough.
But on a level of someone that's applying to Harvard, don't you think that it should be based on grades and merit and not on color?
Yeah, but you see, you have to understand that the argument back then was if you didn't have the grades and you didn't have the merit because you were black and you didn't get to go to the right schools and so on and so forth, you couldn't get into Harvard. You went to Harvard back in the 50s. Do you think you ever saw any black people at Harvard? Very rarely.
And it was also probably 2,000 a year.
Yeah. Now you probably see a lot of them, number one, because of affirmative action, but secondly, because now they do have the opportunity to get the education prior to going into Harvard to be qualified for Harvard.
Yeah. So maybe it's time that things equaled a little bit more.
I think it maybe affirmative action should be revised, but not totally done away with, because if you totally do away with it, then the people who predominate at those universities and so on, which may be white instead of black or
Chinese, whatever, Chinese and Indian, because I don't think the whites have the scores in general that compete with Indian students and Chinese students. They study a lot harder.
I think there had to be affirmative action at that point in time. As to whether it is still as important today, I mean, but the question is, if you do away with it, let's say, will we still have a lot of blacks getting into colleges and universities, and will that? I mean, I don't think we're truly colorblind when we do affirmative action, because you're saying you're black, you have an easier time than this person who is white, and that's not colorblindness. Okay, I want to see us be colorblind, where it's hey, you got the scores, and also because blacks do have the ability to get the education to qualify them for college that they didn't back in the 50s. Okay.
Now, there are also black colleges that I guess Trump put in some funding that wasn't going to run out. I guess they had to re-up that funding every couple of years, and Trump did some move that allowed these black colleges to continue to be funded without having to. It was sort of an evergreen type of thing.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I don't know
with that.
too much about that.
Yeah.
Now, Twitter, the bots, the verified accounts. You know, I thought originally when I first heard Kramer, the guy that says "booyah" on the, he said it was going to be $20 a month. Then I guess Elon Musk comes out and says, no, it's going to be $8 a month. And he said why he was doing it. And it made a shitload of sense.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And you tell him why.
He's going to get rid of the bots.
Well, it's not necessarily going to get rid of the bots.
Bots aren't going to pay.
Bots don't have a credit card.
Right.
Okay.
And they're, they have to be verified accounts. So if all of a sudden, and I was wondering, I said, I would support that. I mean, I don't use Twitter. And the only reason I had a Twitter account originally was to hear what Trump had to say. They took Trump off of Twitter, and I said, well, I have no reason to want to be on Twitter. But so with this verified accounts, let's say Twitter, when they sold him the thing for $44 billion, they said there's 5% of the accounts are bots. And now, let's say
he said larger than that. I think it was something like 40%.
Well, no, this was the guy with the beard who owned Twitter before Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And so he said in the deal it was 5%. Some whistleblower said it was 25%. Now it's going to be interesting to see how many accounts are really left once they institute this verified account thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's a way of being able to weed out those bots. Which, by the way, folks, the bots are what were causing the problem in this country with like the election and so on, because Russia was bombarding and China was bombarding Twitter with bots that were saying things. And yet you couldn't verify they were a human being. They were just a machine who was posting all this stuff. Well, if it's unverified, then you don't believe necessarily what the tweet says. But if it's verified, you do. But if you're verified and it's a bot, that's not a good idea. But if it's verified and now you have to pay $8 and post a credit card, a bot can't post a credit card. It's ridiculous.
Or doesn't want
to.
So
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a very good idea.
Because they had thousands and thousands of bots that were saying the same message, but from different people. And so it wasn't one.
Marjorie is very worried about, and a lot of people I talk to are very worried about, Trump will be able to get back on Twitter.
Well, they're going to have not a council.
They're going to have a committee that will look into this and decide whether it's unreasonable or not. And he is not going to be, I think, part of that committee. He's literally going to have people from various walks of life who are going to be on this committee to decide it.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't feel Marjorie feel Musk is dangerous. Well, I don't feel he's dangerous. I think, in fact, he's amazing.
Smart.
He's amazing. And in the end, when history writes the life of Elon Musk, hopefully it's going to write it as one who got us to Mars and changed the entire got rid of gasoline powered things on this planet. Right. I mean, I think he has so far made a tangible change in the planet. Yeah, and will continue to do so. And continue to do so. And the only thing that bothers me about his whole Twitter thing is I think it's kind of a side deal. It's not important to the rest of what he's doing.
But it's important to him because
it's important to
him. There wasn't free speech on the internet and legitimate speech. And I'm amazed. I never would have thought, hey, just verify these accounts, make people pay, and you eliminate all of this, bots and BS that's
there'll still be phony stuff on there that bots do, but it won't say verified. It won't be verified. Anyway, hey, listen, I think there are people here.
Okay, I got two more things for you, though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
One thing that was interesting was Apple is now valued at more than Amazon, Facebook, and Google combined. Also,
what? Who is?
Apple
Yeah.
Is valued more than those three.
Well, no, I can see that because they have hardware they sell.
Yeah.
At enormous prices, I might add. I mean, I'm talking to you on a computer that cost me $2,600, for instance.
Yeah.
It's the best computer I ever owned. But
I'm still waiting for B&H to get my screens in, but once I get the screen, I'll probably get the same computer as you right after that.
yeah, well, you don't need it. You know what you can get? You're gonna get a Mac Mini M2, and you're gonna do just fine.
Well, I've got the Mac Pro, but
yeah, but that was overkill for you. It wasn't overkill for me because I needed that kind of power here. This thing, I need this kind of power, but you don't need this much. I got to tell you, I have a Mac Mini M1, and it's a very powerful $700 machine.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it's terrific.
With the Apple, not Apple, with the stuff when I'm rendering photos, and I have 47 megapixel camera, you really need some power. But one other thing before we go. Munez, his sexual assault case, they are saying that Moonves. Yes, Moonves.
Munez.
Yeah. Now, what was he was that CBS? What was he the head of?
CBS.
CBS.
Yeah.
It seems that the LAPD has covered up his sexual assault case.
I have no idea about that.
Oh.
I don't care.
No,
but
it was in the news tonight.
Okay, so you through now?
Yeah, I think so. Except for the fact that 53% is what they're saying that the Republicans are going to take the Senate. But why don't we bring them in?
Well, I don't know that that's going to happen. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. We'll talk about that during this once we bring some people in.
Yeah, I was just throwing out some stuff
because
they
all want to join in. There's Kevin, and there's
You through now?
there's Alan, and there's Jeff, and there's Charlie. Hello, all of you. How are you this evening?
Hello.
Say hello to the wonderful world of what's that?
I think Jeff's got background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's family problems.
Family problems.
I'm saying that nicely.
Yeah. I got a piece of information here that you guys are gonna like. This is strange. Who do you guys think is the #1 show in late night?
That guy on Fox, what's his name? Starts with a G. Gutfeld.
Anybody else have an opinion?
Jimmy Kimmel? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Alan? Any guess?
I'm sorry. My sound was off. What was the question? I'm sorry.
You never pay attention to this show anyway when we're doing it.
I do it. I wish somebody else would host it other than you. No, I'm just teasing. So
you may get your wish, by the way.
No. You're a good host.
Yeah.
You keep complaining that you don't have your shit together, but you do.
Late night. Yeah.
Talk shows, you mean after 11?
Yeah. At 11:35, that slot.
Yeah.
After 11.
I would think Kimmel at this point.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Alan? Any ideas?
Could be Colbert.
I think Colbert.
Okay. Nobody here said Fallon.
I have no idea.
Nobody here.
I said Fallon, yeah.
Nobody here said Fallon. No.
Yeah. I think he's died off.
He's certainly not that great. Well, the winner of this contest here was Phil. What's the guy's name again? Gutfeld.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Where the hell is he?
Fox.
Fox.
He's over at Fox. He last Tuesday night he beat all of them.
Really?
Yeah, he had 2.5 million viewers.
That's right. I know he. Yeah, but that's his second. That's his second broadcast, though, isn't it? Isn't he go on earlier and then they repeat it?
No, I think that's the late night now. He just does the late night, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see here. It was even more dominant than all the other cable news channels.
Bonehead.
And then it said, where are the statistics here? Well, anyway, he beat out Kimmel, he beat out Fallon, he beat out Colbert.
I'd rather watch a turd circle the toilet and go down.
Well,
I like him. I like him, but I really prefer reruns of Johnny Carson.
yeah, well,
There was something about Johnny Carson when I was he was
Johnny
on.
Carson was good.
Yeah, it was great.
I see nothing wrong with this guy existing because in that late night universe, it's pretty hard to find somebody without a political opinion.
Yeah.
Colbert's very politically opinionated. Kimmel certainly is.
He's all over it.
Yeah, he's all over it. I like Kimmel best of all of them, but what
Fallon's kind of soft, but
Fallon is not good.
no, he's soft.
Fallon's terrible. He gets
He's done real soft.
What are you sorry about? What is it? When I watched it, sounds terrible. I'm sorry. What I somehow thought I was talking to it. Anyway, where am I?
Kimmel.
No,
Fallon. You were.
Yeah, Fallon does a stand-up at the beginning of his show, and he's terrible at it. He's just
Looks like he's half asleep these days.
yeah, he's ghastly at it. So what the hell. So, but this guy Gutfeld.
Gutfeld, that guy?
I like him, but I don't think he's in the same league as what was the guy that got thrown off of Fox for Goose and Golden Girls? Bill O'Reilly.
But he's not. He's not doing that kind of show.
I know, but he sort of took over that slot, didn't he?
No,
because Bill O'Reilly
was on
larger audience.
Bill O'Reilly was on at 7:00 at night.
Oh, but I think he had a larger audience than all of them.
Oh no, he had the top audience on Fox.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a talk show. Does he even have people
and
on
he has 2.5 million, but I think Hannity has a few more than that. But Hannity isn't the big gun over there anymore.
No.
Who is? I think it may be Tucker Carlson. Maybe.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. So but
I think Hannity's got a bigger audience than Tucker Carlson.
no.
No?
I think so.
No, his audience has been going down
Yeah.
as the years have gone by.
Did Tucker Carlson use that stare when you worked with him? You ever notice that when
I can't remember. We were never in the same room together. He was in New Jersey, and I was on 42nd Street and Fifth Avenue in New York City.
He has this stare, like he's so intently listening to someone, it's almost scary.
No, it looks like he's trying to intently look like he's listening to somebody when he's not.
Maybe
that's the look.
He's on the toilet.
That's the look,
It's like a cat taking a crap in the litter box.
I wouldn't go there, but he's very intense.
Wait a minute, what does it say? And I take the fifth, and I don't know nothing.
What are you, Colonel Klink?
And I don't see nothing.
He's Colonel Klink.
But he just keeps rolling along. I don't know what.
Well, Sergeant Schultz.
That's Trump and the courts when they brought him in New York. I don't know nothing. I don't see nothing.
Tony, you left off at the end of nothing. You left off, so said Trump 50 times.
Every night I make a full cup of coffee. And tonight I decided, I looked at my coffee that I made this morning, and it was still half full, so that's what I'm drinking now.
So you're an optimist.
Half empty.
No, I'm tired.
Not half empty.
I'm tired of wasting,
Yeah, I used to take my coffee and make iced coffee with it and put it in the refrigerator.
Why? I don't like iced coffee. I don't mind cold coffee, but I don't like iced coffee.
Sometimes I change up though. I'll have some iced coffee.
In the summer, I like iced coffee.
Give me a minute, Alex. I'll go make you a fresh cup.
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead.
I have one too.
Fly it over.
Yeah.
No problem. I got a cure. It's quick.
But no, Phil was talking about the Republicans are going to have a 53% chance, blah, 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 blah. You know, the Democrats have had a bad time of it. And they've had a bad time of it because of myths that are being promulgated out there. And let me explain this. Crime is not that terrible right now. It really isn't. And yet the press has built up the fact that it is, and the Republicans make a big deal out of it. Do you feel safe in your own home and blah, blah, blah. And yet if you look at the statistics, it's not really that bad. In fact, crime in New York today, yeah, it's more than it was last year, but it's not like it was in the 60s or the 70s.
Ask Paul Pelosi.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
They built up Halloween like all our kids were going to die in the streets.
Oh
for the-
yeah, yeah.
for a week.
By the way,
Because fentanyl was in your
Yeah.
Skittles everywhere.
Kimmel the other day showed just a medley of all these people from Fox saying Skittle, you know, fentanyl in the Skittles, fentanyl in the Skittles.
Oh, yeah.
It's fentanyl in your kids' candy and blah blah blah. Do you
You're
know how
all going to
much?
die on Halloween.
In all of Halloween this year, how many tons of Skittles and candy were shoved in kids' little
China is
baskets?
invading us, coming across the border.
And
to
how
kill
many
the
cases? How many cases of fentanyl did they find in candy?
Not on my block.
No, there was a rainbow.
I know, no. Forget about the rainbow. It not the rainbow. It looks like candy, but it did. They weren't using it for that. They were just using it for branding, really. Zero. No
That's how they
kid
smuggled
wound up
it.
having fentanyl in their candy.
Because nobody trick or treated because they were
But
afraid of the fentanyl.
you have somebody like Fox is scaring people this way, and then you ask them, what is the main problem today? Well, of course, it's the economy, and then it's crime. Well, no, it isn't really. You know, there are a lot of other problems we got.
Skittle fentanyl.
What?
It's Skittle fentanyl is what they say.
Skittle fentanyl. Yes, yes, Tony.
It's funny you said that with that because when we were kids, I remember this because I was asking my sister this. My mother took us trick or treating. I had to be about 8 or 9, but I remember it. We went. The rumor was that when they only went with me and my mother and my sister because we were dressed up. I was, and the rumor was they were going to put like razor blades in the candy.
Oh yeah,
So
but it used to be
yeah.
razor blades in the
Alex,
candy.
we came home and I was all happy to get to my bag of candy. My mother went into the kitchen with it and threw most of it all down the garbage.
Just
She
use
goes,
a
"What are you gonna
magnet.
do? I bought your own candy. Eat this."
Nah, you just use a magnet on
You
it.
threw half of my candy out. Whatever was loose went in the garbage. You're not eating this. She was looking at it like an inspector.
Well,
She said, I bought your own candy.
well, that's
Stuff
why.
like-
That's why so
Charlie's
much.
Charlie's got his hand up.
That's that's why. I'll go to you in a second, Charlie. That's why everybody has this attitude that we're well. Anyway, yes, Charlie.
Now, I just want to point out that 8 of the 10 worst states for crime are Republican-run states. They're red states, southern red states.
What do you mean?
Look
no,
at California, New York, Illinois.
Yes,
you
but-
want crime?
Will you listen to what
Florida,
he?
Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana.
got 18
These are the worst
people there.
states.
You know, they are high crime
Crime.
states. But if you look at the thousands of people that are being killed in Chicago and these blue
Chicago,
states,
but wait a minute, New York. It's not that bad. It's just not good. It's just not that bad.
how would you know? You don't go outside.
It's worse. It is worse in Chicago, and a lot of these states he mentions. It is worse. He simply said of the top 5.
Of the top 10, 8
10.
of the top 10 states for crime are red states.
So we're giving you New York and we're giving you Illinois, but
Yeah, and we have a mental health problem, and it's not being taken care of. And look at Paul Pelosi. That
What
guy.
are the Republicans going to do for that? They have
No, you're-
they have not put forth any solutions to that.
Yeah, they're going to commit all the Democrats to the institution.
Phil,
But,
Phil, they are unrepentant. The Republicans, they're complaining, saying, "Oh, this is horrible. What happened to Paul Pelosi?" But they take no responsibility for creating the atmosphere that made it happen.
because I think Obama created that atmosphere. He was the
How
most
was that?
divisive
How was
guy.
that? Oh, really? Oh, really? How? And how? Did he really make people want to kill people?
Well, he sent out a message of division. You know,
Did he really?
And he continues to do it.
Wait a minute. Here,
on
well, hold on a
stuff.
second. How many here heard that message of division from Obama? I never heard a message of division.
I missed that speech.
I must have missed
yeah.
that one.
And Brian's eating fentanyl Skittles.
No, don't eat them.
Getting a good
Skittles are
buzz.
so good. I don't know what they're doing flavor wise lately, but they are so good.
It's fentanyl.
Getting a good buzz.
Oh wow!
Yeah, if you're not
There's a little
prepared-
rip in them, but I don't know what the rip was from. But I don't know. They're good.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, you ask him if he's getting a good high. 5 minutes later, he could be dead from fentanyl poisoning.
But
We'll see. This will be the test.
yeah,
This will be the test, Bill. Okay.
what I was saying is that the media has built up the problems. Now, the only one that people can really feel and know exists is when they go to the store and the prices are higher. You know, Marjorie went out, made dinner tonight, made a night lovely roast chicken and so on. Everything she bought down there came to $66. You know, now
Her chicken prices have gone up quite a
yeah,
bit.
I mean, it's just, you know, and so we know that's a problem. But who do you blame for that problem? Do you,
Obama.
Yeah,
Obama,
you blame
yes.
Obama. Yeah, no, who do you blame for that? And
I thought it was Hillary that we blamed for it.
Yeah,
Oh, part two. Both of them.
but who do you blame that on? I mean, any politician who tells you elect me and I will vote so we get prices down is lying to you. There is nothing anybody can do as a congressman individually to bring prices down. So he's lying to you, or she's lying to you. And the same is true of a lot of these other problems. You know, how is Ted Cruz going to stop crime?
They
With his
booed him.
beard.
Well, one way he could stop crime is by retiring. But, you know, I mean,
Or he leaves the country.
Yeah.
They were giving him the FU at the Yankee game when they were losing.
yes, they
music.
were.
Yeah.
He got
Didn't his father kill Kennedy?
he got a New York. He got
Yeah, they were giving him the finger and everything. It was
he got a New York welcome.
You know,
losing. They were angry, angry.
you remember Pelosi, Nancy was brought out for some concert and they booed her. And then everybody said, oh, when they brought DeSantis on the stage to raise money for the people that were hurt during the hurricane, and he was cheered, the left said that was wrong. He should not have been brought up there like that, and so forth.
No, I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that story either. Are these things you make up, Phil?
No, it
Bill.
was just last week.
I get it.
Bill, why don't you do some research for a little bit and show us, and then you can send it to us.
Only if you give me the Skittles.
Yes, Tony.
Alex, I was in Stop and Shop the other day, and I think this is nonsense too.
You know
I
what
went-
you do at Stop and Shop, in case people aren't familiar with Stop and Shop.
and you shop.
You stop and then you shop.
You know what they said by the eggs? They have a sign on the freezer. Chicken shortage? You gotta be kidding me.
No, those are
That's why
short
the eggs
chickens.
are so expensive.
They have
Hey,
tall
Charles,
chickens. Short chickens.
$3 a dozen. I'm like, give me a break.
You know how they brought down the price of a dozen eggs?
How?
You only get 10 in a package.
Probably right.
That's how they do it.
I walked out. I didn't even buy them. I went to Trader
It's
Joe's.
called shrinkflation. Shrinkflation.
Chicken
Yes,
shortage. I think
Alan.
this is nonsense.
Yes, Alan.
So I want to correct you here, Phil. Pelosi and Cruz. Pelosi is not a senator. Cruz is.
Pelosi's not a senator?
Nope.
She's a speaker. Isn't
Oh,
she?
she's a Speaker of the House.
That's a news flash. Look at that.
All right. So what's the difference? You know.
What do you mean? What's the difference? What do you
she's
mean?
the
What's
third? She's the third most powerful person and third in line for the presidency, or second in line after Harris.
Yeah, and I can't figure out who was number 3 in line for the King of England. You know, come on. Never gonna see it.
Charles.
No, you got Charles.
Oh.
No, first.
Oh, no,
Second.
he's the king
He's
now,
also
right?
third in line.
Who?
Charles. He's third in line.
Charles
would
is
rather
third
have-
in line?
Yeah.
What, behind who?
Who's the person
The corgis.
now the prime minister?
Boy, are you uninformed?
It's Rivi.
Wait a minute. Is he talking about King of England?
Yes, I was.
Yes, he is. He thinks he is.
He thinks the Prime Minister is the King of England?
No,
He's
I'm being
first in line.
facetious.
No, you're not. You meant every
Yes, I
minute. You
am.
meant every word of it.
I'm being facetious.
He doesn't know the difference between
The
a
king
senator
doesn't
and a
have any
congressman.
power. The King of England has very little power. It's a ceremonial position, and it's mostly there for fundraising. And it's a very expensive thing. I don't like kings, but
He likes queens.
Well, then I don't know why you like Trump.
well, he was royalty.
Alan, you always get a good one every once in a while. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Well, that's all I have to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, what about Herschel Walker? Come on, Phil. You
Oh,
skipped
God,
around
he's out.
all these different topics, but what about your BFF?
Oh well, I think he's
You
going to
know
do a
what that
good job.
means, Brian?
A much
There's
better
another
job
one.
than Warnock.
Why? Warnock has been a senator now for 2 years. He at least knows where the bathroom is there.
Maybe that's all he knows because
Well, he knows
what-
more
what
than
is-
Herschel Walker. Phil,
He
Phil,
votes with-
listen
he
to me.
votes with
Listen to me.
Biden.
Listen to me a second. Herschel Walker is a fucking moron. Even Sean Hannity or Tucker Carlson the other night said he was a goddamn moron.
I heard that. I heard that.
warrior
He
for
said
God.
it. He said it. Well, who's more of a warrior for God? Herschel Walker, who's giving 84,000 women abortions, or Warnock, who's a reverend, for Christ's sake, and has his own church?
When Kavanaugh wanted to be a Supreme Court justice, people were coming out of the woodwork with all sorts of false accusations. Don't you think there's a possibility that these Warnock accusations are fairly false as well? I know
The Warnock accusations are?
Yeah,
You mean the Walker accusations?
Walker
Oh,
accusations.
not Warnock.
Well, not Warnock. Warnock's accusations
Warnock
were
Walker.
he's evicting people from low-income housing because they didn't pay a small amount of their rent. That's Warnock. Warnock is running was that church in Atlanta?
Phil,
Yeah.
Walker is a fucking moron. That's
Well-
it. Plain and simple. He hasn't got a brain in his head. He has, I think, I would much rather, I'm not big on having a reverend be in politics, okay? But if he's going to be, that's certainly better than a guy who is seriously brain damaged.
Well, the guy did say he was in a mental institution for a while, and he said, when I went there, those people are crazy.
Are you talking about the last president we had here?
No, I'm talking about Walker. He was actually, he went through some things. At least he understands what it's like.
You're making excuses for this guy, Phil. He is just a moron. He is
I really-
incapable. And secondly, he isn't, again, a resident of Georgia. He was living in Texas all these years. He went to Georgia as a school. That's where he got his fame and his what do you call Heisman Trophy. But he's from Texas.
He grew up in Georgia.
No, he didn't
Georgia.
grow up in Georgia.
Cartersville, Georgia, I believe. He
He
said that.
grew up in Georgia, but they played for the Cowboys, so he moved to Texas.
Well, I mean, hey, Alex grew up in San Francisco, but he played for WPLJ, so he lived in New York.
Walker lived in Texas for 30
That is
years.
maybe the worst excuse for
That was a
something
horrible
that I've
analogy.
ever heard in
All
my
right, well-
life.
That was
All
a
right.
horrible one.
Well,
Phil
I
and
never
had
heard you on Sirius.
Phil, you should have stayed at the restaurant longer. He
Yeah,
was nice.
Alan and I had a wonderful meal tonight.
Absolutely. New York State strip and Ruth Chris.
Do you
and Phil
guys
Roth.
ever eat anything besides steak?
Everything is steak.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Sushi.
Why would you want to eat
I
anything?
can't wait to visit. I'm going to be the one not eating the steak.
It was off the hook. It was
You-
such a good steak.
Tony, you think a dozen eggs at $5 are expensive? You ought to
Yeah.
come with us to Ruth
Oh,
Chris.
let me see
and
the,
give us
don't let me see
how
the
much
bill.
is a steak now at Ruth's Chris?
$69 per steak.
What? How much?
$69 per steak.
I think we had the $61 steak. We didn't
Oh,
get the
sorry.
boning.
You paid the bill. I don't know.
Yeah,
61.
yeah.
For a New
It was,
York steak, no.
123 for 2 steaks.
So
No
he
baked
pay. So
potato.
does he always pay?
Who picks up the tab?
He picks up the tab a lot. He's a good
Okay,
guy.
well then that's no, that's not a good guy. It's just a guy you can take advantage of.
I chose to do it. You know, he spent an hour and a half in traffic getting up here. The least I could do.
For all that gas, I was $61 worth of gas right there.
Especially in his truck.
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah, and we had the ahi tuna.
Absolutely.
We had, what was the thing?
Sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
Split this huge sweet potato.
I hate sweet potatoes. They make me throw up.
Oh, this was so good. This was like dessert. It was so good.
Now, what doesn't make me throw up is what our friend is eating there. Yep. You peel off all the chocolate first and then eat it, right?
That's because it falls off if you don't eat it first.
Do you like the new flavor as much as the other one?
I like the old chocolate because the chocolate was solid and everything. This one's okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but then I like this to melt a little bit, and then it's
What is the new
spongy
flavor?
Yeah. Hey, Larkin.
He's alive.
It's John Larkin, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's up?
Guest.
Yeah. It says John Lark, however.
Yeah.
Have you changed your name?
It was cheaper than the extra letters.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm on my iPad.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Turn it sideways. Let's see if we can get a better.
I got a new one too the other day.
There we go. Oh, that looks much better. See, that fills out the whole screen.
Yep. They're nice. iPad Pro.
Yeah.
Never had one. I've had these stupid little Samsung tablets. This thing is night and day.
Oh yeah.
Night
No.
and day.
Oh no. The iPad Pro. I have one too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They're good.
shit,
They're really good.
I don't know how I've lived without it this long.
Now I like the size of that. Yeah. Go ahead, John.
I like anything that's
How's
over
everybody
80.
doing?
We're doing okay. And yourself?
No complaints. Still breathing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All good.
They still have shows. You're still doing the shows?
Yeah, that's I'm working a lot, you know. At like 3 different theaters, so yeah.
You're working. Which theaters are you working? The Warfield.
Warfield, the Golden Gate, and the Orpheum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
None of those are X-rated, John.
My father used to work at the Warfield in the orchestra when they had an orchestra.
Oh yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in those days, those were movie theaters, and what they did was, I think 6 times a day they had about a 45-minute show that they did with a full orchestra and acts and a main act. You know, in one case when I was there, it was Lena Horne. You know, and she worked 6 shows a day. You know. So.
I like the Paramount in Oakland. They have a pipe organ in the place.
Yes, it's a very nice. That's a very nice theater. I went and saw Napoleon there with a full symphony orchestra.
Wow, that was a long time ago. A couple hundred years ago.
No, it was when I got married 11 years ago.
Oh, okay.
We were there and we met Shecky out there to go to the showing of Napoleon, which is a 5.5-hour film, silent film. It had an intermission and it had a little dinner break is what we had. And it was, Marjorie went with me and she said, well, we're going to see what, a 5.5-hour silent film? By the time it was over, she said, where did the time go? She said, that was the shortest time I ever spent in a movie theater.
Good thing you didn't take Phil. He has to piss every hour like a woman.
But they had a full-size orchestra there, symphony orchestra, with a score by a guy named Carl Davis, and it was just wonderful. It was just, it just grabbed you. The music was just incredible. But anyway, that's a great theater, and it's one of the few theaters left. You know, a lot of those movie palaces, the ones that still exist, you know what they all are?
X-rated?
No, churches.
Oh.
Because they were big and spectacular. So the like here, catty corner to this apartment house is a building, and that was the first movie palace in America. It was converted from a normal movie theater by Roxy to a movie palace with fountains and everything. And it went through, you know, good times, bad times, whatever, and finally was bought up by a church. And they do it there. And the ones that have been restored because these evangelists have taken them over. So, anyway. But nobody here remembers movie palaces, or do you?
In Berkeley, there's the UC Theater, which
No, but that was just a theater. That was just a theater.
But they used to have a very famous show there. What was the thing that they did on Halloween?
It's called Trick or Treat.
No. It's the
Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror. Rocky Horror. They still do it there.
That's not a show, Phil. That's a movie, and people throw tissue at the screen.
There's a movie, and they also had live. They have live characters at the UC Theater.
That's the way they were doing Rocky Horror in every city in America, Phil.
Yeah, well, for years it was done there.
That wasn't like a theater that was made to do theatrical stuff.
I thought you told me the last time you were there was when Sean Cassidy was live.
No.
But anyway, here comes Bree. By the way,
really beautiful job there of restoring it.
Bree, yeah, I see him. He hasn't clicked his button yet, though. So.
Bree from Malaysia.
Yeah.
Nice I thought he had a tiff and he left for good.
We have a little something, you know. It happens, and then people come back, and we enjoy having them back.
It's kind of like Twitter.
But I let him join, and he's not clicking his button, so you know. But anyway, I'm trying to think of what else has been happening in the news. Well, of course we had. How do you people feel about Elon Musk and Twitter? Anything? Yeah.
Good for the San Francisco economy.
Yeah.
You know what the Twitter headquarters is?
He's firing everybody. He's going to try to run it himself.
No.
Well, yeah, just by himself.
No.
Well,
he's cutting expenses.
Well, he's cutting.
He's got a skeleton crew running the place.
Do you remember the Furniture Mart? It's like a 10.
Yeah. I not only remember. I not only remember the Furniture Mart. I used to do my show out of the Furniture Mart.
I used to have an office on the second floor there.
On 10th and Market.
Right. You know where the switchboard is on the second floor?
Well, that's Twitter's headquarters.
Yeah.
Well, I had an office in the next to the switchboard.
It used to be the Furniture Mart, and we were on the bottom floor, and we had a side entrance. Mm-hmm. And that's where I first had a studio audience. I could only fit about 10 people, 12 people in there.
Yeah.
But you know, that's where we did
it. Shoot, it's that Mexican restaurant. You know, what the hell is it called?
Chevy's?
No, it's like Chevy's, but it was
El Torito.
Huh?
El Torito's?
No, it was like
Jack in the Box.
Adam.
Mexicalindo.
Taco Bell.
Something.
Taco Bell.
Well, we're going to be here all night trying to name a Mexican restaurant.
But it's a famous Mexican restaurant now.
Oh, famous.
Well, kind of famous. Famous San Francisco. It was like one of the first Tex-Mex restaurants in the nation.
That sounds like Chevy's.
Chili's.
Even before those guys.
I think I'm falling asleep.
All right.
Yeah, you falling asleep?
You don't like Mexican?
Yeah. Anybody else have a Mexican restaurant they want to name? Taco Bell? Taco Bell?
Been named.
No.
Who give a fucko?
Cadillac Bar and Grill.
Oh, I remember the Cadillac.
Oh, that was at the parking lot.
Mission Street.
Yeah, but that's not there.
That's not in the same
It's
building.
now in right where your studio used to be, right there. That's where it is.
You couldn't fit a restaurant in that small space. It was so small.
Well, they remodeled it. It's a lot bigger.
I had a program director had an office, and he had a grating, kind of a ceiling with grating above him, and pigeons would come along and poop on his desk. That's how bad this studio was.
That was the talent.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
They were imported from the Republican National Committee.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Bree. Let's try him again here. Let's see here. Let's see if he pops the button there. You know. But we've allowed him to join. Anyway, let me think here. Anything else that I was dealing with? You know, but I really think the American public. I mean, the Republicans, of course, have done a good job of selling the big lie about, you know, that the economy is the Democrats' fault. It's not. It's really not. And I wouldn't say it was the Republicans' fault either.
No, I wouldn't either.
We had a little thing. We had a little thing, ladies and gentlemen. It was called COVID, and that caused great economic strain on the country. Okay. And that's what you have to blame it on, among a few other problems. Hello there, Bree. There he is, finally. You know, yeah.
And inflation is global.
And in fact, I looked at the inflation numbers worldwide, and we've got it the best of anybody. Yeah. We're at like 4.9% or something, and the closest thing.
We're at 9 point something. Or
yeah, but still. To begin with, the one closest to us is in the teens, and I can't remember what country it was.
The UK is 10%, and Germany is right up around there. But the one thing that but
there's one other country I saw that was at 48%.
Yeah,
that's Venezuela, probably.
No. It was like France or Germany or something like that.
Where Europe is, they're having their problems is Russia turned off the gas to Germany. Was that Nord Stream pipeline? And that is causing massive inflation in Europe. Not the same reason that we're having the inflation here.
Electric heaters are the thing to buy in Germany right now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
not going to be able to heat.
How are gas prices where you are, Bree?
Well, you always ask me this, Alex, and I don't know because I don't drive.
Yeah.
I just know I know Burger
King
prices.
Okay, how bad is inflation there now?
It's getting worse. The prices are definitely going up.
So it's not only here.
I got a call from my agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a call from my agent today. They want to raise my rent, to re-sign because my lease is coming up. And I said, can we just keep it the same and I'll sign another year? But if you're going to raise it, I'm going to start looking. And so we'll see
rents are going down in the States.
Well,
not around here.
Yeah, well, the point is that for all you want to blame, ladies and gentlemen, this on Biden, it's not him. It's worldwide. It's not exclusive to here, and we actually have it better than they do. And some things have gotten better. The employment, there are 2 jobs available for everybody who wants one. I mean, jobs are out there. Yes, Alan.
So this is, I guess, from what I understand, the 5th time in the last 100 years that the whole world is in recession. All the major countries. Sometimes it's one country or another. So and everybody wants to blame Biden. How does Biden control the rest of the world?
All right.
Totally. I mean, it's not Trump's fault either.
If you go back to where did these raise in prices happen? It happened as a result of COVID. The cost of living, and once COVID got better, do you think these people lowered their prices? No, they got used to making a bundle, and they're continuing to do it.
I would add Trump's massive tax cut contributed quite a bit to it too. That just
not around the world, John. Maybe here, but
I agree. Yeah.
Something I would love to blame Trump, and I think yes, to a certain extent, he's partially at fault for a little bit of it. But for me to say that he was responsible for that is to then agree with the Republicans that it's Biden's fault now. I don't think a politician did this. I think this was a matter of greed, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
And
when you see the gas prices top over $7 a gallon over here, and then everything started coming down, there were definitely some gas stations that were holding on to some of those prices where the majority of them are going down.
The ones closest to the freeway always had the highest prices. Did you ever notice that?
Yes.
Yep.
Convenience.
Yes. Who had their hand up?
Oh, you know what? I could have heard this wrong. I heard that Shanghai is closed down again because of COVID. That's
be.
what I was hearing.
I don't know.
Oh
but
no,
it could
they closed down Shanghai Disneyland, and people couldn't get out of there because somebody came down with COVID, and everybody that was in the park had to stay.
You mean they had to stay there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and get tested.
Can you imagine if you were? I had a friend once
And lock them in the
who
small.
who went to Disney World,
Well, hotels are nice.
and he decided to go on It's a Small World ride. Which, if you ever go to Disney World, that's the one ride to just stay away from. It is so bad. It's horrible. Okay, and they. As they were going through the ride, it broke down. Now, I don't know if you know how that ride works, but every time you would turn into a new area, you got a new part of the song, because all these were on a loop. So if you were to just stand in one place in the ride, you would hear the same song, part of the song, over and over again. And he's stuck in this boat with da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da 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 da, and that was for 3 hours. He said it literally drove him crazy. Yes.
So I think I know the reason why your egg prices are higher, Tony. The only time I've been in a small world, which was like 30 years ago, the lady sitting next to me got hit in the face with a raw egg.
Really?
I'm sure it was intended for me.
But listen, this ride was stalled so long that when he looked over to the side of him, there were some of these animatronics playing poker. You know, it was.
That was
Break time.
I was stalled on it for like 15 minutes, and it drove me nuts.
So you've gone through the. They should have a way of getting people out of there or turning the goddamn music off.
Yeah.
Take the teacup ride. It's really scary.
We're still on the Harry Potter, and the Harry Potter's like two people sit in this thing, and it's sort of the crane like moves you around through this thing.
On that ride.
And we got stuck on it only like 5 minutes, but it's like we're sort of sideways, and it's like, oh my god.
Can you imagine the people on these corkscrew roller coasters that get stuck upside down?
Oh.
Or just up, you know, when they're going up and they get stuck up there, then they got to get out of that and walk down. Oh my God, no thanks.
Not me. I'll just sit there and wait till the power comes back.
Jeff was looking at his wristwatch. Look, is this almost over? that's the look I got from him.
Heart rate. He's doing
He's
a heart
looking
rate.
for the Cadillac bar.
Yeah, is there anything you want to say tonight, Jeff?
Oh, let's see. No.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now let's have a little fun here, because I saw pictures that Brian posted of he and Adrian trick or treating.
Oh my God!
That was quite a costume you had, friend. Who made that? Where'd you get that?
That's an old one, but the mask is really scary. So we would go trick or treating, and she would walk up to the house. And trick or treat, and the people would put they say, "Oh, so cute!" Look at Adrian, "Oh, so cute!" And they would put the candy in, and they lean back up and to close the door, and they would see me, and the light, their lights would be hitting me, and I'm that guy with this big axe handle with a big saw blade, all bloody, and I'd just be standing there, and then all of a sudden they see me when they're closing the door, and they're blank stare, and they just slowly close the door. It was hilarious.
How many kids did you get, Brian?
Huh?
How many visitors? How many kids came for candy?
Oh no, we went and walked around. So
but do you think with Adrian it was really appropriate to have her go as a sexy nurse?
No, it's a sexy nurse.
He had an axe handle to chase off the guys.
No, what was she dressed as? She looked great.
Yeah, she was like a sort of a clown murder thing, but she didn't want to do the makeup and all that stuff.
Kids love Halloween.
Oh, they had
it's
around the corner. This is the first year we did this area. Usually we go to our friends' area, but our friends are like our older kids, too old now. So I took Adrian around here, and it's huge over here, Almond Valley. they had a couple driveways where it's like alcohol bar for the parents and then candy for the kids. There was one that these guys called the Almaden Brewers put on at their house, and it's a club that these guys homebrew beer around here, and they always do it at Halloween. So they were serving beers all night. And so all the parents were at that house, and they had music going, and it was like a big party.
Well, every year, the big party in Hollywood that somebody holds is Heidi Klum holds a Halloween party. And she always spends a fortune on her Halloween costume. Did you see hers this year? Oh,
she was a tapeworm.
She was a worm.
Wow.
Yes.
I call her a tapeworm.
It was an amazing costume. Just an amazing costume. And it was Heidi Klum, so it's the first, worm that ever gave me a stiffy, but
her on your show.
But I
you can't even see her.
See, I never really liked Halloween because I didn't like wearing costumes. Oh, there she is. Look at that.
Wow.
And there was somebody with a fishing pole, and she was on the fishing pole.
It was her husband,
yeah.
Where is she?
Yeah, but look at that. Isn't that a great costume?
Yeah, wow.
Walk around. That's gross.
Looks like your colon fell out.
I got no trick-or-treaters came to my apartment, and a friend of mine in Mill Valley, she said that she had 300 kids come to her house.
That's because the Trump for president sticker on your door, nobody wanted to come to it.
You know what happened is my mother was never good at making Halloween costumes. And every year I went as the same thing over and over again. A pirate. Here's the reason why. All she had to do was find a blouse for me to wear, put a pair of jeans on me. She cut out a cardboard sword. Then she got a scarf and made that for the midsection area, right? And we put the sword in there. And then she put a couple of her earrings in my ears. Okay. They were clip-on earrings. And then a bandana. Actually today I would make a good drag queen in that outfit. But that was my outfit like 5 years running.
All I got was a pillowcase and a Nixon mask. They were. I
heard that Trump opened the door and there were 15 FBI agents, and he started to hand them candy.
Now in Malaysia, do they do Halloween?
Just a little bit. Some people do, some people don't. But you can definitely buy Halloween stuff. The schools will do like Halloween Friday, where the kids can wear their costume.
But isn't that
in Seoul, Korea? In Seoul, Korea, there was a Halloween celebration, and 150 people were crushed and killed.
They were trampled to death or something.
And I think another 150 on top of that were injured.
Oh, too bad. Don't go to Seoul,
including
Korea
2
Halloween.
Americans.
Yeah, well, they got so compressed they became one boy band.
Yeah, really.
That's cute.
And the guy up north started throwing bombs.
Oh yeah, we got Trump's pal.
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un, the one he sent love letters to.
He's just dying to get into a war.
There were no missiles aimed at Japan when Trump was president.
Oh, give me a break.
Bullshit.
Oh, they were aimed at Japan.
Trump got him to cease all the tests and to not fire the missiles.
He was still tossing stuff over Japan.
Look, in Japan, they're sheltering in place over this.
Yeah. He still did some testing over
there.
Phil.
You're saying Trump was on the same level as Dennis Rodman then? Okay, good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dennis Rodman, the peacemaker.
I saw a mime that had Dennis Rodman.
It's called a meme. A mime tries to get out of a box.
It's kind of like a gaff, right?
He was sitting below Kim Jong-un, and a guy whispers to Kim Jong-un, "That's not Obama." I thought it was very cute.
Tony's laughing. None of us get it, but Tony's laughing.
Yeah, well.
What about the meme I sent you? That was Herschel Walker at the Halloween. He said, when kids knock on my door, I don't know if they're looking for candy or child support.
I know, that was funny.
I love that. That's great.
That was a good one.
Oh boy. Oh boy. And then of course, you get down in Philadelphia. You've got Dr. Oz.
Oh,
A man who doesn't even, up until running for office, live in Pennsylvania.
He lives on the coast of Pennsylvania.
He lives on the
that's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
In the house.
You're worried about Herschel Walker, but Fetterman doesn't scare you?
No, Fetterman doesn't scare me at all. I realize that, and don't make light of him, because we have somebody here who has aphasia as well and has survived it and done very well and is a very intelligent person.
Yes, but he's not trying to run the country.
No, he's not trying to run the country at all. He just wants to be a senator. And Fetterman has quite the qualifications for the job.
And it's, communist.
Will you stop that? You would know a communist if they came and bit you in the ass.
If you want to talk about high crime, when he was the mayor of whatever city he was the mayor of, the crime rate went up.
Bullshit. The murder rate went to zero.
Because most of the people moved out.
No, the murder rate, he just said the murder rate went to zero, Phil. How do you answer that?
Which one of those is you, John?
He said the crime rate went up.
The one on the right.
Okay.
As soon as you won, everybody got one.
Yeah.
The one on the right to me has got.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I want to clear something up. You say, Charlie, that the crime rate didn't go up.
No,
it went down.
I don't think he's not right.
Down.
The crime rate in when Fetterman was mayor of whatever podunk town he was mayor of went up substantially. And he also, for the people that were killed, he put the dates in a tattoo on his arm.
Right, he was mayor for 13 years, and he had 10 dates on his arm.
There was only 1,100 people that lived in that town.
There's more than 100 people. Good God.
You don't even know what town was it, Phil?
I forget.
Well, do you see that? Then you don't even know what town it was.
What state was it in, Phil?
It was in the case of Phil. It was in the state of denial.
It was in Mississippi.
That must be I don't know. In the town of. Okay, I'll look that up. There you go.
What?
That's Phil Statman.
You should have saw him eating steak with those in.
They must be independent.
No, that's what they look like after he ate the steak.
Yeah.
Steak was really good.
Yeah, there's one thing, Ruth Chris, for an.
It isn't Ruth. It isn't Ruth.
Ruth's Chris.
Ruth's Chris.
Yeah. If you want consistency, no matter where you go in the country, you go to a Ruth's Chris, you're going to get the same kind of thing. You're going to get a very good meal. Now, there are other steakhouses that are far superior.
You don't even need to go there for consistency. McDonald's has consistency.
I was just going to say that. You go to McDonald's everywhere. So, yeah, you can pull it.
Yeah. Well, let me play
it's all
this.
garbage at McDonald's, but,
Well, there's our theme song, luckily. But good, nice night tonight, and a lot of people were listening, which was amazing. So maybe we're I don't know, maybe we're on the mend here. I don't know, but anyway, thank you, Phil, for helping me during the first part of the program, and
it's always a pleasure.
Jeff, always good to see you here.
Likewise,
the poster boy for aphasia, and he's a perfect example of. Don't worry about Fetterman. You can survive it.
That's right.
You can have a
I would
good
vote
life.
for Jeff before I'd vote for Fetterman.
Well, because you're just a stupid Republican. Anyway, thank you very much, Alan. Thank you. I always love having you here, Charlie. Tony, not so much, but thank you for calling us. It's nice having you here. John, good to see you again. And, of course, our good friend Brian is here, and we thank him. And, of course, Bree. Nice to see you calling us again, Bree. It's always nice to have you here. Always nice to have somebody from another country. Anyway, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, and we'll call it a night. Thank you, everybody. Okay. I'm Alex Bennett. You know who's next? Yes, of course. Yeah, it's our old pal. Jack Bishop. He's going to be doing the intersection, and he'll take your calls on Skype at Gabnet Live is what you call to talk to him. Give him a call. He's really terrific, and it's a good show. I'll be back again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, of course, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Good night.